How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Benji's Logs and Whatnots 2.0. We are back at it again for another episode, and as you guys can tell, I've got a little project up our sleeves. Pulling this old leaf blower apart. Got all the necessary tools that we're going to necessarily need. And as per the usual, got to put my good old eyes on so that we can see what we're doing. There is quite a few things through here, screws and whatever else, so that'll take us a little bit of time for us to get those screws out and then get everything apart. So let's get unscrewing, shall we? So most of these screws have already been removed on behalf of the old man, so that'll make our job just a little bit easier to get these screws out. But I got just enough to keep us entertained as always. As long as we don't screw it up, we should be fine. That part was pretty damn easy. Might be able to use that for something later down the track. Not sure exactly what, but I'm sure that it will come in handy at some point. Just like that, we've basically dismantled the body. But what we're after is right there. That's what we're after. Trusty old copper. So we're going to pull this engine out just like that and get all the necessary copper out of this. It's probably not going to be that much, but it'll be enough to melt down later down the track. So the next fun bit is to get that bolt right there out, which I did a little bit of brainstorming on what it was. It was a 13mm socket. So we tried to figure out how to get it out initially, but there was a little cap right on top of there that basically restricted us from knowing exactly what it was. But now that we know what it is, this theoretically should come off easily enough now. Just like that. Two more things are off. Now, two more screws that we can easily get off. If I had the camera angle a little bit better, it would be better off. Let's see how easy this is to, as you would say, get off now. It would be 1,000 times better if we had ourselves a little drill, electric drill, but hand power is what we got for the time being. Alright, that's that. So technically now, that should theoretically pull apart now. Yes, that would be why. So we got a couple little ruddy straps that we need to kindly cut off. So that should release those. Some more over here. Now this is actually a lot easier than a lot of the other stuff that we've ever, as you would say, taken apart. Alright, now that we've got that sorted out, we do have quite a bit of copper there as well. The most interesting part is to get that right there apart. Whether or not we decide to or not is going to be the next question. I don't know if that's a whole copper piece or it's just got a centerpiece that's the copper's all spread around on. But we'll try and jimmy that off. Along with some other bits and pieces. I'm going to have to just put that in the vise and see if we can get those other bits and pieces off. Now this is going to be the easy part, simply because I'll be using these to cut those. I tell you what, these bolt cutters have been a lifesaver quite a few times in the past. Just like that, they are cut. Oh, one is hoping that they have been cut all the way through. If not, we'll have to redo that in just a moment. I might just have to put that in the vice grip just over the other side of the shed, so we'll go and do that and jimmy the bastard out. So now that we've got it in the vice, here comes the fun part, getting the pry bar into it. Whether or not this is going to work, it's going to be the next person's guess. We might be lucky. Oh, jeez Louise, that is tight. That is a very tight fit, no doubt. That's going to be interesting to see if we can actually get it out. Alright, that's not going to work. Might have to flip this over and prise these open just a little bit so that it can at least have a little bit more leeway to, as you would say, come out. We are unfortunately going to lose some copper, but that isn't too bad. So what I'm going to need to do is get my very rusty bull-nosed pliers and try and readjust all this to where it's going to be, as you would say, easier to get out. The other option I've got is to completely cut those off so that I can easily get them out. But I do like to make more work for myself, as the saying goes. Alright, now that we've got them like that, let's see how well these now officially come out, if they want to come out. A little bit better. Well, it's coming out, but I don't think this pry bar is big enough. So we've got a slightly bigger one now. Hopefully, it'll give us enough leverage to get it out. There we go. I got one out. A little bit flogged up, but that's alright. That'll do just fine for what we're after. It'll still melt down nicely. Either way, it's just a bit of a pain in the ass to get out. And there's the other side. I'll be measuring up how much copper we've gotten out of this. But that is now officially empty. So I'm not going to worry too much about the smaller copper pieces, but then again I'll probably end up collecting them, as many as I can, and putting it in a little stockpile over there. Now the fun part begins. We're going to sit here and grind some of this off. See if we can actually cut some of this off and everything else in between. Well, there's that piece right there. Now what we're going to do is get this like this and just do two cuts, one here and one on the other side. Let's see how well it goes. I don't know if that was going to do anything for us or not. I think what we're doing now is just straight over the top. I think that will do just fine. I think it's not going to get any better than that, I don't think. Now we should theoretically, hopefully, be able to pop everything out from there. So next step I think is going to be getting Dad's hole punches and hopefully being able to punch these out just a little bit so that we can, as you would say, get them out from said casing. Whether or not it'll work, it's going to be the next question, because I dare say these are well and truly squished in there. I mean bloody hard. I might have to go up the next size up from that. Seems to be doing something. It's taking a while to get this done. I can tell you right now, this is a lot harder than it looks. But I think that's going to be really difficult for us to even get it out. I have to sit here and think about how to get that one out in particular, because as you can tell with that, it is getting pretty mangled up trying to get it out. I've tried a screwdriver, I've tried the smaller version of that and the bull nose pliers version of that, but yeah, there's probably a way to get it out without mangling it up too much. I've sort of buggered up one of my Dad's hole punches. I'm going to have to replace it at some point. Potentially next week I'll have to get him a new one. Oops. So I'm going to have to sit here and think on how to get basically all of that out of the frame. Every other one that I've done of these have been relatively easy, but yeah, these ones are a little bit more stubborn, as the saying goes. Just like me on bad days, get a little bit stubborn. While thinking of it, may as well give a little weigh up of what we've got already. 158 grams in total. That's just from the other piece that we pulled apart before, not including that. Now I have found a little cheat code, guys, and that does require us to, as you would say, pulling apart said things so we don't bugger up our father's hole punches anymore than what they've already been. So if you have a look at that, I've easily buggered up the tip of this. I'll have to go and let him know once we get back upstairs. I'll let him know that I buggered up one of his things. I'll replace them later down the track. It'll most likely be next week. But for now, we found a little cheat code and we're going to go with it. It does work wonders. As you guys can tell, I am a bit bloody puffed at the moment, so this shouldn't really take too much longer to, as you would say, get this stuff out. Bloody got the drops today, Jesus Christ. Bloody cluts. Bloody cluts indeed. Anyway, this is going to take a little bit of time to get out. I'm not going to bore you guys too much more with trying to get this out, so give us a couple minutes and this should easily come out. So far guys, we've done all we can with this. We still have a little bit of copper left in the motor itself. Got a little bit just here and a couple just there, and as you guys can see, I tried to cut it out, but that didn't work out all that well. We've even got the cap that we cut off before. So with that, I'm just gonna straight into the crucible when it comes time. I've also got the very end bit that's still got quite a bit of copper in it. That I'm gonna have to figure out how to cut it all open and get all the copper out without the plastic. But what we're going to do with the copper that we did get out, there is a little extra. I'll quickly just weigh it up. So all up, 213 grams of copper that we pulled out of that. 213 grams all up is what we got out of all of that. Well, there's probably still, I don't know, about 50 grams worth of copper left, but again, we'll have to figure out what we're going to do with that one there, because I don't want to put all the bloody glue in there, and I don't want to dump that with all the plastic. So yeah, still have a little bit of stuff doing. So with a little bit of persistence and a little bit of thinking, we managed to get all the copper out of this little bad boy right here. So we've got all the copper out of that now, and we've managed to get the little piece of metal out of that. Easy enough, we just put that in the vise and then got a bolt and just knocked on the top of that. There's only a little bit of plastic and a little bit of glue on that, but there's a little bit of glue on the other shit anyway, so all we got to do now is worry about these little pieces here. So as you guys can see, we've cut them in half. So we're just going to have to sit here on the day that we decide to melt and basically try and get those little pieces out. Now I'm going to have to sit here and see if they're really copper, which they do look like they are. Just looks a little discolored because it's all glued in, and I think it's all because of the heat when they got melted into the plastic. We do still have a little bit from the last thing that we pulled apart, so we still got all that plus all that and whatever's in there. Hell, I might even just chuck the whole bloody thing in there and worry about the consequences later. And on a little side note, we ended up buying some poles for the swag that we've got, but we just measured it up and we got the 1400s. I think we needed the 2800s, or at least 3000 mil, 3 meter, because these ones here are the ones that we bought. As you guys can see, that's the size that it's got. Well, the size that I needed is, as you can tell, it's sitting right over by the fuel can, and it comes all the way to here, and that's the other one. Yikes! I should have bloody measured it. Oh well. I'm sure that I'll manage to use those poles for something. Not sure exactly what, but yeah. Silly bloody me. Typical male thing to do, something like that. Thinking, yeah, that's the size, but nope. Should have measured it. Now that we've done all we could for today, and found out that we did that oopsie with the swag, we measured it up. It's about a 24 to 2600 mil that we are after. So we've just had another look at the site that we bought them off, and bought the 2400s. Probably should go the next size up, 2800s, just to be on the safe side, but I think 2400s will do just fine. That's another 1000 mil longer than the ones that we initially bought. We should, as the rule of thumb goes, measure twice, cut once. Not cut once, measure twice. So once payday comes, we'll get these ones and double check that they're the right ones. Even if they're just a couple of mil short, that doesn't matter. As long as they're close to what we need, then that's all that matters to us. But in saying that, guys, now that we've done all that we could for today, we're going to sit back and relax and enjoy the day for what it's worth. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, as always, keep it cheesy.